How can I run all HTTP requests through Charles Web Debugging Proxy, including command line ones? I'm using the Charles Web Debugging Proxy software to debug HTTP requests. It works great with my desktop browsers, Chrome and Firefox, and it even sees HTTP requests that other programs make. When I run Charles and check the network config, I think I understand how it works. It just sets up a proxy for all HTTP and HTTPS requests and then listens for these on port 8888. However, the item I can't figure out is that I don't see any requests that I initiate at the terminal, such as wet, curl, or the elinks browser. I know that I can specify the proxy with curl and get by using 127.0.0.1 to 8888, but I don't understand if the network interface is set up with a proxy in the configuration why I would need to manually specify the proxy for them. Also, I can't seem to get BlueCrab website copier to show up in Charles either, and I don't see a proxy setting for it, although I believe it is using an Swindow wrapper or something, so it's not really a native Cocoa/Carbon app. How can I get all HTTP requests on my system to run through Charles? Clarification. My question is about the system fundamentals of why curl and get wouldn't use a proxy when the network interface was set up to use one, more so than asking about the correct syntax for curl, wet, etc.
Get behind proxy, you may have to create the RC file, source. Add the following line. Curl behind proxy source. Add the following line. Elinks behind proxy source. Find your elinks.conf file with. Add the following line. Not sure about BlueCrab.
The reason why you don't just get proxying of all HTTP requests is because at the operating system level, there is no such thing as a HTTP request, there are only TCP connections. Contacting a HTTP proxy means changing the HTTP request slightly as well as contacting the proxy server instead of the host named in the URL, so it has to be done in the code that implements sending HTTP requests. Curl and WG have their own HTTP code, which uses their own config files. They haven't been programmed to look for proxy settings where Mac OS X keeps them, nor are they using the HTTP libraries provided with Mac OS X that use those proxy settings.
If you don't want to touch your configuration files, using curl you can do. Curl http://example.com proxy 127.0.0.1 column 8888.
VPN would create a new network device. You can see it in ifconfig command, and then route all system network to that device. You could see the root use root command. But HTTP proxy, in this case, the Charles, is different. It just open a port. To use it, you must specify your application setting to use that port for HTTP stuffs. And as Kevin reads answer, curl, WG etc. don't read OS X system-wide settings. If your proxy is SOCKS, Charles supports both HTTP and SOCKS. You could use proxy chains or SOCKS for application doesn't support proxy setting. E.g.
Charles Web isn't trying to